that is, like I said in the beginning, much bigger than us. And thank you for being here.
It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce to the podium at this time Tribal President of the Tataviam Nation, Mr. Rudy Ortega Jr.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this morning for this announcement and blessings. And what we're going to do to you, my cousin Ray, is a traditional blessing. And a little bit of the history of my tribe that's part of here of the Taviam. My ancestry is Tataviam and Chumash as well. But mostly the Taviam. We come from these villages up in these areas. And in our tribe, we have 3 families today that exist still, that carry on tradition, and they're still part of the community. One of them is being the Garcia Cook family that's in Santa Crida, lived in Santa Crida, and was part of the San Francisco Dam break as well. But the Castaic Wilderness Bill, the legislation for it, it's great, it's awesome. I mean, just to put it in those words, because it protects cultural sites that are used behind Castaic and throughout Castaic area. These areas that I take my children to go hike, visit quite often, but more importantly is the history. We talk about the 3 tribes, the Gatanomuk families that were part of it as well, and this is where our families come together. There was a family of Gatanomuk that lived in behind Castaic up always to 1920s, and they left. And it was because one of the reasons is you had to come out into these areas to survive and be part of the society. If not, pretty much you were prosecuted, you were hunted down, you were moved off, you were kicked off the lands. These are part of our history of our people. And it's a very harsh history, but we managed to survive through this history. And through all that time, we lost our language. My great-grandfather was a fluent speaker. He died in 1941. And he was one that would speak to all the families that go back and forth. And our families will still communicate. Till today, my family still communicates with the Gatanomuk people, the Chumash people, and throughout the different families. In fact, we still use these areas for blessing ceremonies. I had the privilege when I was younger, 19 years old or so, to do a cremation ceremony behind Castaic for the Gatanomuk families in 1995. So, and we continue to use it. And we took our children when they're 7 years old and they turn 8 years old. To us, they become adults at that age. And we took them behind Castaic for the coming of age ceremonies. And that was in 2006. So there's a lot of area that's sacred to us. And there's a lot of rock up there. There's medicine up there that we believe in. And this relationship that we have with the forest allowed us and granted us. The people who believe in our family still, the people who communicate with our people. So it's, to me, it's an honor that the bill, the legislation is coming through, and being part of it, being introduced, because it's a vitalness to protect all these sites, not just for Tataviam people or Gatanomuk or Chumash, but for everyone here to enjoy the forest, to enjoy the nature, because that's what's important. If we lose all this, it doesn't matter. We lose our way of life. We lose the way we think of society is. It's nature. It's the simplicity of life. And that we have to continue to maintain, protect, not just as Native people, but as people of the earth. So with that, I'd like to do a blessing. I call my cousin Ray up, and we're going to do a traditional blessing and some songs as well. In fact, if I can have everyone please stand. Our tradition, we blow tobacco. We blow so that we can tell the spirits to go away. All the bad spirits. And since the dam had bust and broke and lost so many lives, I don't believe we ever did a blessing for them. So we're going to do a blessing for all those people. North. East. To the south. To the west.
Payo, 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 me. Payo, payo, me. Payo, 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 me. Payo, payo, me. Payo, 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 payo. Payo, 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 me. Payo, payo, me, ya, hey. Payo, 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 payo. Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. 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 Tamale, 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 tamale. Tamale, 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 Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. Tamale, 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 tamale. Tamale, 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 Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. Kyo namaha Vayawatamale. Tamale, 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 tamale. Tamale, tamale, oh yeah, tamale, tamale. Aha, aha.
Thank you. You may be seated. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the man of the hour, Congressman Knight.
Well, thank you all for coming today. I took a tour with Diane about 2 weeks ago or so. I think she said we were going to go on about an hour hike. It was about a 2.5-hour hike, so I think she suckered me in for a little bit more than I could hike. Saw everything. This is a part of the dam was just given, and you can see how the dam was constructed in today's day and age. If you look at concrete, you don't see large pieces of rock. You don't see that kind of holes in the concrete building as you saw back there. And if you walk the dam site, you will see pieces of rock that are about this big that were in the aggregate, and it was not done correctly. I understand that no one wants to give blame, but someone was to blame for this, and this was the largest man-made disaster in the 20th century, and this is something that shouldn't have happened. We did learn a lot from it, and our future dams were built correctly, and so that you can take some good out of it, but this shouldn't have happened. This is something that, and we can never forget. We can never forget the 450 lives that were lost. We can never forget what happened during that time. We can never forget that this was a short period of time ago. This was only 87 years ago. Now, I know that that's a lifetime for all of us, but when you're remembering a disaster that took so many lives and affected such an area, then that's not that long a time. I can tell you when I talked to many congressmen about this piece of legislation, They said, well, what is the St. Francis Dam? And within about 2 sentences of me explaining it, they said, oh, that's right. I know what you're talking about. So they don't typically know St. Francis Dam, but they do know the story. Many of them do, especially the Californians. And so it is not lost. We do have a great book that's coming out. John is in the audience that explains it very well, and there are other books that are out there that explains what happened on this fateful night. So that, along with the wilderness area, we do kind of jump. We do shoot for the moon. I've done this several times, and we're doing that this time with a wilderness area that is so large and so expansive. We're going to fight tooth and nail. We've been talking to the congressmen that are on the committees and to the chairman, and I think we've got a good path. But understand that legislation is a fluid action, and just because I write it word for word doesn't mean I get word for word. So it is a fluid action that we'll be moving through forward with in the next few months. We will keep you very up to date. Diane has everything that I do, but we'll keep it up on the website. If you go to the Representative Knight website, or if you go to my Knight Vision, if you want to sign up for that, you will get everything that's happening on this piece of legislation and other pieces of legislation. But I want to thank everyone for coming out and understanding that this is a process. This is something that we want. This is something that's overdue, something that should have happened many, many years ago. And hopefully we will get this done in a quick manner, and we can put this behind us so we can move forward with the memorial and honoring and the wilderness area and moving forward. So thank you all very much. I want to thank the mayor, and we have 4 city council members here today. That's a pretty big call. This is a city of Santa Clarita. I say this all the time. This is one of the greatest cities in the country. There's no doubt about it. There's pretty much nothing you can't do in Santa Clarita. It is beautiful. And a good portion of that is because you have such a good city council and good leadership out here. So I want to thank them for being here. The mayor and the city council have been very supportive, and we want to keep them supportive. So thank you all very much. Diane, do you want to say a couple words? Come on, Diane. Come on, Diane. Come on, Diane. We're not going to let you go that easy. So.
I usually have my speeches prepared. I won't keep you guys too long. I know it's hot and miserable out here, but I wanted to thank all of you for coming. I wanted to thank all of you for supporting this legislation. This is, I think, the most important legislation in this district for a long, long time. And like everyone said, it will not only memorialize the dam and pay homage to all the people that died there, but it will also protect all of those Native American sites that are so important. And if that area were to be logged or mowed over with cell towers, if it were to be opened for other uses, it would be gone. Already there's been some desecration of the burial grounds, and we want to see that stopped. So I can't imagine anything more important for all of you, and I just wanted to thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day.
What? Well, you asked her you want to take care of my bag. That doesn't have to bring a fountain.